You know, while
I'll
we're you kind of mentioned it earlier, and I kind of wanted to get to this subject, and then we'll probably try to get into some videos. But the gun thing, I think we also have a bit of a disagreement here. So actually, you should explain your position real quickly so people
okay.
understand.
Here's my position. I am laughing at having a conversation with a young guy from Wyoming, who I'm guessing everybody in Wyoming is born with a gun. I come from Malibu, California, where we're going out surfing and doing yoga. We don't care. We don't need guns. We have guns in LA, but it's from the gangsters and the blacks, Mexicans,
Sure.
racial. But yeah, my stance on guns is that we are about 100 years past due on totally abolishing the Second Amendment. It has been utterly misinterpreted. It has been a devastating for our country, for the dead bodies who will never see the light of day. They're never going to be able to be around to see Bernie lose this Tuesday. Um, it is it is just a shame. I am anti-death. I am pro-human. I'm pro-abortion, though, so let's not get that twisted. Um, I I find that there are superior societies in the world. I've lived in several of them that have figured this out. This is not that hard to figure out. I'm aware the problem is big. I'm aware Americans are gun toters and they love their guns. And over my cold, dead body, or you have to pry my gun off me, I get that. But it's smart to institute policies that will lead to the betterment of society. I know this is going to take years, decades,
Sure.
generations. Slavery was the same way. If it's 1864 and I'm saying, I think we should ban slavery, I just think it's a moral wrong, and you say to me, you're never going to ban slavery, dude. It's the whole driving force of the economy. I mean, you know how many slaves we have here? You know how hard that would be? I get that. They fought a war over this shit. I understand that it's problematic, but I am just not down with guns.
Sure.
What about you?
I wanted to kind of offer you an example that you brought up in a recent video, but you were talking about the Trayvon Martin case because the Young Turks felt the need to bring it up for whatever reason. But we have a case here where Trayvon Martin, unarmed. Now, admittedly, George Zimmerman's an asshole, but whatever.
Mhm.
When you have a guy beating up on you, a guy who's unarmed like Trayvon Martin, but still has the strength to fuck you up. Doesn't it seem like there's some practical use for citizens to have firearms to protect themselves in that case?
No, I think what I'm hearing there is fear. Look, we have a situation. We have something called the police, and we have designated these people to protect us. Now,
I mean, they're
in the
reactionary
trailer,
though. They couldn't have shown up soon enough to really save him.
I would refer you to Minority Report and Tom Cruise, where we have a unit called the pre-crime unit, and they will jump in and stop Trayvon Martin. No, here's the thing. Yes, shit happens in the world. The world's not perfect, and the thing is, let's be honest about that Trayvon Martin case. If he did not pull out a gun, the situation would not have been escalated, and Trayvon Martin was not going to beat the man to death. Okay,
Okay.
what would have happened? The neighbors had already heard all the screams and yelling. The cops had already been called and were on their way. The neighbors would have come out. This guy would have. Trayvon didn't have some bloodlust to end a man's life. And Trayvon wasn't armed. He would have gotten an ass kicking, and that would have been the end of it. He pulled out the gun. We have a loss of life. And this is a
Okay.
private citizen who was out doing a job that he was not paid to do. We, as a society, did not ask him to do that. He instigated the situation. Then Trayvon escalated it, and then the asshole finished it. And it was horrible from start to finish.
Yes. No, no, I agree, but not even necessarily the case. I just wanted to use that as been a bit of an example in the case of,
Mhm.
you know, because there is a little bit of baggage there because you're not really on anyone's side in that case. Both people involved were assholes, but no, in the case
Yeah.
of just take the idea of I'm getting beat up on by someone much more physically imposing than me. I need to protect
Mhm.
myself or I need to protect my family. I'm very pro gun control. I'm not advocating for people to have AK-47s or some shit. But I think that there
Mhm.
is a viable, use for handguns in terms of protection when the police can't get there on time or when you find yourself in a situation like that. I do acknowledge that we have a lot of gun death problems, a lot of gang problems in America, and
Mhm.
your method, if we could get rid of all guns, that'd be great. Um, but I mean, how practical? how
Well,
practical do you think that is? How far would you go? Would you be willing to like send officers in to confiscate weapons?
oh yeah, but I mean, first of all, that's a different topic. The practicality and the difficulty of reducing guns in the country is a totally separate thing. We're arguing over the philosophy of it,
Okay.
which I can't even get you on my side on that. So like having guns, the ownership of guns, you talk about it's handy in self-defense. You almost imply that you're talking about a carry permit. So you're just walking around with a gun, just la-di-da out in the streets. If some shit goes off, you have your gun with you. You know, that is a very specific subset of gun ownership. Is, you know, what do they call it? Hidden carry, or what are the concealed carry?
Concealed, yeah.
Right, right. So other people have their guns in a safe, you know, just on standby for the mythical home invasion, and if that ever happens. Now, they've seen the stats. They know that by owning a gun, they've increased the chances that they're going to die from a gun, that their family's going to die from a gun, accidents with that gun, suicide, all that stuff goes skyrocketing. Yet they're like, yeah, but that's not going to happen to me. I'm above those stats. That's other people. They're not the gun wielder I am. I'm Clint Eastwood over here. Now, here's the one thing I will say about it, and Sam Harris talked about this. I'm fully in support and in favor of researching and finding the technology to come up with a gun substitute that is actually an effective weapon at, let's not get it wrong, totally fucking up somebody, but better than a taser, better than a stun gun, more effective, and yet not lethal. Once we have that, which I feel is a plausible thing for me to expect to one day have, I am in favor of switching from guns to that, at least as a baby
Okay.
step.
I think I'd agree with you on that. If that
I just don't want
technology
people
became
to
available.
die. Right, like the Trayvon Martin situation. If there was a third party that went in there, separated them, go, hey guys, chill out, what's going on here? They could have talked it over, emotions would have calmed, and people would not be dead. Do you really think that was a situation that somebody needs to die over?
No, no, no. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's not always how people say it. Let's ignore Trayvon Martin for a sec. Let's just say there is someone beating up on you unarmed, and they have the intention of killing you. It's you or them. What do you do? And this is, let's just say this is a person who can really fuck you up, and they're crazy, out of their mind. So you really don't have much hope of fighting
Okay.
against them.
Well, you blow your rape whistle, which I'm sure you carry with you. No, what you do is you say, well, too bad for you. It's, you know, it sucks to be you. There's bad things that happen in the world, and we're never going to stop all of those things. What you should do is fight for your life, cry for help, call for help, seek help, run. I mean, these are just normal common sense things that you do. Now, the situation in America is unique because there's a bunch of people with guns already.
Yes.
Like in Germany, in England, in Japan, this is an easy situation because there is no situation. Nobody has a gun. If somebody breaks in, they don't have a gun. If somebody accosts you in an alley, they don't have a gun. You could still die, and there are murders, obviously, but
Yeah.
we're talking about a specific method that humans have developed to kill multiple people in a short amount of time with great ease. And the ability for you guys, I mean, there are Walmarts in Wyoming, correct?
Yes.
And you have 20-year-olds out there who are depressed, who get zero pussy, who are emotionally troubled, who have access to guns in Walmart. I mean, that is not a successful formula for a country. And this is not the case in Japan. You cannot do this in Germany. I believe
Sure.
that as far as gun control goes, I'm on board with Sam Harris, where he says he wants it to be as hard to get a gun as it is to become a pilot of a plane. You have to go through that much training and, you know, just
I'd agree
checks
with
and
that.
balances.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that you should up the amount of training it takes to get a license in general.
And vetting,
Yeah,
not just
absolutely.
training. I mean, we got to check these people out. We got a lot of people.
Yeah, there are a
That's the
lot
other
of
problem
people
with
who
America.
shouldn't be having guns who have guns right now.
There's really actually, if you want to get specific, there's a lot of people that shouldn't even be alive. And there are dreadful people in this world, in America.
Oh yeah.
And when you have a country of like, sometimes you'll hear a country like Australia or Sweden, and they'll brag about their stats and the quality of life there and the happiness index. And they have like 25 million people and 10 million people each. It's like,
Yeah.
if we took the top 10 million people in America, it would be, you know, peachy. It would be perfectly easy to run that society. But we got additional problems, which you're aware of. Actually, you might not be aware because you're in Wyoming.
I think I see enough of the problems.